What's up? What's up, YouTube? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hope you guys having a wonderful day. Another welcome back to another live. Okay, let me just quickly set up the things here. What's up, everyone? If you're new to this channel, welcome to my channel. This is Aditya, and I'm a real estate agent and an investor and immigrant to Canada in Windsor, Ontario. So, hey, hi Mamta, can you hear my voice clearly? What's up, everyone? Okay, welcome for another live. So I'll be just hanging around to talk about real estate, to talk about real estate sales, and maybe a Windsor market. So maybe I'll give a quick update on what's going on in Windsor. So Windsor market is awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, let me know who you are and where are you hopping from? Where are you joining the live from? I'm just curious to see where the people are joining from. So let me know what's your name, where are you joining from? I would like to give a quick shout. And if you don't know me, this is Aditya. Again, a real estate investor, real estate agent, and immigrant to Canada. So how is Windsor market now? Good question. It really depends on what you're looking to do. So if you're looking to sell, great time to sell because Windsor prices are all-time high. If you're looking to buy, there is definitely a good amount of competition, but still cash flowing properties out there. So you can still find a good properties. Again, you need to work hard a little bit to find the right deals. If you're looking to invest in student rentals, probably you can expect a little bit of, actually not a little bit more than higher vacancy, more than normal vacancy rate. So it's pretty good. And overall, the Windsor market looks very promising. And recently there is a news, I don't know if you guys saw, in Windsor, there is a new condo projects going to start in 2021 or 2022 in Windsor downtown, because Windsor downtown is one of the area where, still rough, still, need to be improved a lot. But now a big developers from Toronto coming down to build 1,414 condo units, which is huge for Windsor. So I'm super excited because that brings in so much growth in the overall city, because there are going to be more people for work on that project. Probably that big project can go for a couple of years. And then if a big builder who is looking to invest in Windsor, that shows how strong Windsor economy is. That shows what's the potential. Like, that shows that there is a huge potential for growth in Windsor. So I'm actually super excited and interested to see how that goes. Hey Shan, how are you, brother? So and again, on this live, obviously I want you to guys hop on your questions. What's going on with you? How can I help you with your investments? Is there any questions that bothering you, or is there anything stopping you to buy your first property? Or if you're looking to sell, if you are thinking whether to sell or buy or refinance, ask me the questions. So this is the time where now pretty much you're getting a free time for me to answer your questions. So use this opportunity. So that's Windsor. I'm really excited about Windsor in general. On the sales side, Win City real estate team is crushing it. Last month, me and my team, we sold over 6 million worth real estate, so which is fantastic. And team is crushing it. Srinivas and Clark, if you guys haven't seen their videos on different neighborhoods, I have the links probably on the playlist. Check out. So, hey, Addy, first time watching a live stream. Oh, welcome. Yep. Let me know what's your name. Let me know where are you joining the call from, so I know whom I'm talking to. So some random tips that I can give, especially for first-time investors. You got in anywhere in Ontario right now. It's a crazy sellers market. So what it means is, especially if you are looking to invest, you gotta spend at least every day 10, 15, 20 minutes in reviewing the properties, to analyze the properties, to see which properties make sense. At least do the basic due diligence, because you gotta spend time in order to get a good deal. So you need to analyze properties every day and make offers. At least have a goal of making 1 or 2 offers every day. That's the only way to get a good deals. Because many, especially first-time investors, they come and ask me like, "Hey, how can I find a best deal?" You gotta be prepared. You gotta look at properties every day. You gotta make offers, and you gotta go through inspections. You will eventually get a good deal. If you're consistent and persistent with your actions, automatically you will get good deals. Hey guys, somehow I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I don't hear from you guys. Come on. So I'm just watching myself to see, is there anything else that I can provide? Anyone aspiring investors that watching the videos, let me know in the comments below. Hey Angie, how are you, buddy? From Windsor, looking to get into investing. Awesome. Have you owned any properties, or is this your first property? Fantastic, buddy. No complaints. Life is good. How is India? I think you're still in India. Hey, Joseph. Hello. Thanks for hopping on. Guys, again, this is just a random Q&A, so feel free to ask any questions. I'm here to help you. I have recently graduated in civil engineering and looking to learn for next few months. That's awesome, man. That's really good. Civil engineer, it's a great career. Congratulations. I asked an agent to put an offer. He refused. The listing price is $335, and I suggested $350. He said no because he didn't want to install. You got to change the agent, brother. That's it. You got to make offers. If the agent is not accepting, probably you got to find another agent. That's why you have to reach for, especially investor-focused realtors. I don't know which city you're looking to buy, but in any city, find the investor-focused realtors, because investor-focused realtors are the one who understand that no matter what the market condition is, you got to make offers. But again, until unless if he is talking that the market price is really like maybe 350 or 400, but the agents wantedly listed for 235, maybe the agent might feel like it's worth way more than what you're wanting him to suggest. But still, I don't see a reason for not writing an offer until unless, there is like 10, 20 offers already. If there are already more than 5, 10 offers, probably at that point, it's just not worth for you to write that offer. But honestly, reach out to the right agent. I came back 20 days ago. Oh, good man, good for you. So hope you enjoyed in India, Angie. Can both wife and husband use their RRSP contributions towards their first home buy? Good question, a really good question. I know when both of you on the title, because now if both of you are first time home buyers, I believe you can, but again, don't take my answer for 100%. Obviously, your first step to get a 100% answer is to talk to a mortgage person. If you're looking in Windsor, let me know. DM me. I can give you my mortgage guy, a great guy. He can answer you those questions. But I believe most likely yes. But check with the mortgage guy, because I haven't came across that scenario, honestly. Is the agent allowed to do that? I'm thinking of complaining to association. I mean, so it's pretty much it's a communication between you and the other agent, right? So if you and agent have a good relation, and he is trying to explain you that, hey, this is just, the market is crazy, there are a lot of offers, it's just useless. If he's trying to explain you, then it's not worth going for complaint. But technically, if he's representing you, yes, he has to write an offer for you if you're asking him to. But again, the simple thing is I would resolve by talking, because it's just a waste of time for you or also an agent going through that complaint, and it's so much. Rather just change the agent if you don't like him, right? It's just a lot of hustle. Can we buy investment property in Windsor from outside Canada? Do there are options of bank private lenders who can give loan using US or Indian credit history? Okay, good question. I have a couple of investors, actually, my clients who had US credit, and I was able to get them the property in Windsor. Yes. But again, there are certain limitations. So we got mortgage, actually for both of them. I got mortgage with RBC. So RBC, they looked at the US income, they looked at the US credit history, because they do have a US franchise as well. So but their only criteria was you need 35% down. So you need higher down payment, because it's a foreign investment. You're technically a foreign investor. But good thing is in Canada, in Windsor, you don't have foreign investor tax, so it's good. So you need higher down payment though. But again, maybe other lenders, there might be other lenders I really didn't dig more into. I know for sure you can get lending using US credit, but Indian credit, I'm not 100% sure. You might be able to. They might ask you higher down payment, maybe even more than 35, depending on, because they have to be in a position to verify your income from India to qualify that. And of course, private money, most likely yes, because again, the private money lenders, they have lien on the property, so that's why they have security. So there are. For a first-time home buyer, is it not better to use first-time homeowner or on a more expensive house for 5% down? I mean, Addy, it's an interesting question. Here is how I would give you an answer. Yes, it's always good to buy expensive house with a 5% down, because you're leveraging more. But if you're looking at it as an investor, I would not recommend buying just a single family for 600-700 or 500,000, because you're leveraging too much and where you don't have any other income coming in. So if you want to, especially if you're in early of your career, I personally would recommend buy multiple units, maybe like fourplex, brand new fourplex. I recently got for a client a brand new fourplex for $1 million. Of course, at that point, they don't give you 5% down. Maybe you might need to spend 10% down. But if you're looking to move into one unit, all of a sudden, this 3 units, brand new, will pay you a lot of, pretty much pay all your expenses, mortgage, tax, and insurance. So that's a great way to leverage. But don't over leverage for yourself if there is no income coming from that particular property. So what I'm trying to say is, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki says, my favorite quote: buy an asset. If you're leveraging on an asset, that's fantastic. But on liability, be careful. Liability is something that takes money from your pocket. So just be careful about that when you're leveraging with 5% down. Okay. How much do you think 250,000 home in Windsor will go up in value in next 5 years? Rough estimation. I love that question. So obviously no one can predict the future. It's really hard. But what's going on currently? From last 5 years, there is a consistent appreciation of 15 to 20%. Every year, 15 to 20% appreciation. That means whoever bought properties like 4-5 years ago, they doubled. Honestly, it's actually more than that, but strategically, that's the price. I got my third investment property in Sandwich Town in April 2018 for 107,000. I'm gonna make a video on this one. I just recently, just 2 weeks ago, I refinanced and my property appraised for 308. That means 200,000. But is anyone can guarantee you that it's going to go same appreciation in next 2-3 years? At least the predictions based on the things happening in Windsor, like new bridge construction is happening on, and immigrant population is growing quite drastically from last few years. And this new project that was announced recently, of course, they're in the process of getting the permits. But that's a freaking huge project, 1,400 units, condo units in downtown area. So that means it's a growth. So if this growth, at least I feel the growth will continue to happen for next 3 to 4 years. So if it continues, even if the average appreciation is 10% every year, that means for next 5 years, 50% appreciation. That means your property will increase by 125,000. So if you bought it for 250 now, it's going to be 375. But don't forget, that's not just your returns. Your mortgage pay down every month, that's also your returns. And also your cash flow on it, that's also your returns. So great question. I love that. If the rental is going to wash off itself during more mortgage, then why do mortgage broker ask for mortgage debt ratio cannot be more than 35%, meaning more rental we have? Hey Matt, sorry, I'm kind of little bit confused with your question. If rental is going to wash off during more mortgage, then why do mortgage brokers ask for mortgage debt ratio? It can be sorry, I quite did not get your question. Maybe explain me a little bit better what you mean. Like, are you talking about if you have income from the property and you have your personal income to debt ratio is higher at 35%, and why does the bank still want that to be higher or lower? If that's a question, obviously, if you have income coming in from this property and your income to debt ratio is at certain X percentage, if this is income is more than enough to pay your mortgage and expenses, again, every lender has different criteria. Some lenders take 50% of the rental income. Some lenders take 80% of the rental income. Some lenders take 100% of the rental income. So you got to see how much percentage they're taking. So you got to find the right lender who can take the maximum rental income to consider you to qualify for it. Goods credit score, but down payments, can I get mortgage to buy a house? Goods credit score, but down payments, can I get mortgage to buy? So you have good credit score, but you don't have down payment, or you do have down payment? I didn't understand your question, Yusuf. Sorry. Did you find comparables for house in the same area? Is there a website that stats what houses rent or sell for? Addy, good question. Unfortunately, I think there are not much resources for you to find how much properties are selling. But for renting, there are like generally I reference from Kijiji, Facebook Marketplace, and there are a couple of other websites you can search like rentals in Windsor. But sell side, that's where you need to work with us. If you have a friend or someone who is a real estate agent, ask them. They can give you the sales history in that area. Hi Alludu. Hi Mama. Abjit, thank you so much. Even a PR holder will have to pay. No, I mean, if you have PR, then it's a different story. But you need to have tax, you need to have filed taxes in Canada, and you need to show income in Canada, and you need to have credit history in Canada. Because I know some people who has PR, but they just arrived, they might not be qualified. But you have PR, you arrived in Canada, and you're working, you have a full-time job in Canada, and you're already like passed by your probation period, then you would qualify for even first-time home buyer or even a traditional 20% down. But if you have PR, that might make things easier for 20% down. I personally would say, like, again, every lender has different criteria. I would say wherever the city you're looking to buy, reach out to mortgage brokers. See, because every lender criteria change. So better ask the mortgage broker. I see you might have possibility. Okay, also when we buy more properties, we have to pay land transfer tax, which is roughly 1.5%. So how can we pay this land transfer tax again and again if we buy more properties? Do we have to pay land transfer tax fee if property is less than 400K? Please detail on this. So Matt, yes, you have to pay land transfer tax after first property. I think for first property, you have a rebate up to 4,000 to 5,000. But after that, for every property you buy, yes, unfortunately, you have to pay land transfer tax to government. That's it, period. There is no excuse on that. And I paid all the property taxes for all my properties. So you gotta account that as an investment towards that property. So now you have to see if the investment makes sense after you pay whatever the investment total closing cost and the purchase price, like the down payment and the closing cost together. Does the property make sense as an investment? That's what you need to look for. Hey buddy, I'll metalhead guitar. Got it. My buddy lives in Ontario. He wants to invest in Windsor. Should he? Of course, right now Windsor is one of the fastest growing city in Windsor, in Ontario, and also in Windsor, like the property prices are growing very fast from last 5 years. But along the same time, still you can find a cash flowing property in Windsor. What does that mean? You can still find assets. That means you buy a property, single family or small multifamily, the income that you can get from this property can pay off all your expenses. So that's what you need to look for. Whichever the city that you're evaluating, what's the market look like, what's the market trend is, and then does the property can make cash flow for you. Even if it makes $100 cash flow, still it's great because you're not putting any money from your pocket once you buy it. So that's what I look for. Yes, Windsor definitely a great place. Do you need to be a Canadian citizen to get a real estate license? Usman, no, you don't have to be a Canadian citizen, but I believe you have to be permanent resident. You should have a PR. That's a requirement. Amazing. You're welcome. Mainly, if I keep buying on rental properties, won't banks have a cap on maximum 10 rental properties or something like that? This is what I was asking about. Okay, now it makes sense. Again, so that's a great question. Yes and no. So yes, some lenders, so for example, CIBC, they care about no matter where you have the properties, how many properties you have, if the income to debt ratio makes sense, they lend up to 6 properties with them. So now that lender is capped out. And RBC, they also same thing. They lend only 6 properties. So all of a sudden you have 12 properties. Now there are other lenders. So if your income to debt ratio makes sense, you can find different lenders. There are credit unions. There are, some lenders, B lenders, who are a little bit higher interest rate, but they're lenient. So I know people who own 30, 40, 50 properties and they still qualify for a mortgage because of the income to debt ratio. Because you're making income from the property, your qualification won't go down. That's one way. But let's say, for example, like the most, like you got a roadblock. You cannot find any lender is lending you. The alternative now is either find JV partners, number one, or number two, find vendor takebacks who can lend you the mortgage, the sellers, or find a commercial property more than 6 units. Some of the lenders even consider more than 4 units. Now the property become commercial. Now they don't overlook on your personal side. They look at the property as an entity. Now the property income should make sense to qualify for a mortgage. So yes, you need to pay a little higher down payment than the normal, but this is the next stage. So if you already maxed out, go to the next stage. But personally, if you're still in the beginning stage, I would say first focus on maxing out until like at least 10, 15 brokers say that you cannot get mortgage anymore. I'm pretty sure you can get mortgages. Addy, after renovating a house, how do you know what it will appraise for? Is that something that comes with experience? Yes, one with experience, Addy, but the second one is also like you look at the market comparables. What properties are selling in that particular neighborhood with that, in the condition that your property is in. So the comparables is really important because, obviously it's always what is the area value for that type of product. So that's what appraisal value is. How can you get those comparables? Obviously, one way is to realtor, and second way maybe just pay the appraiser. They come in and do the appraisal for you. It will cost you like $300. Good question though. I think you touched on this before. When I refi my first primary house, 95% loan to value, and now get it to 80% loan to value, does the CMHC get waived off for my original loan, or that is the loss I take? Good question, Ishan. I'm actually going through that freaking process right now. So first of all, if you go to a different lender, yes, that's a loss you have to take. Literally, you cannot do anything. You have to pay the CMHC, even if you have if your value of the property went up. But if you're refinancing with the same lender, they might be able to do something. So the only thing I would recommend is whoever the lender you have with currently, go talk to them and let them tell you what is the way for out for refinance. Because I was talking to my mortgage broker because my primary home, I have like 100,000 equity. I was bugging her. She's like, hold on, I'm busy with other things, but let me get this. So she was telling that I was able to do it and put it on line of credit and continue to pay the CMHC because I'm still with the same lender, but my property is refinanced for 80% loan to value. If there is any extra equity, I can have access to that equity through line of credit. So that's a great way. So still you might have to pay the CMHC, but you will have access to your money. But I would say like check with your current lender. I recently graduated. Am I better off paying off my student loan first before investing? Addy, that's a great question. I mean, so it really depends on if you can qualify to buy a property, investment property, go buy it with the loan without clearing the loan. But if that loan is stopping you to buy the property, then I would say think of clearing it off. Because if that is not stopping you to buy the property, then why do you have to pay that student loan? Because I know student loans are very attractive in terms of interest rates and all those things, because you don't have to pay interest for 2 years or something. Again, I'm not much aware of the student loans because I'm not I'm not a Canadian born and raised here. I didn't get a student loan. I literally borrowed money from back home and paid a huge interest. But here it's different. So I would say, see if you will qualify for a mortgage. If you do, even keeping that student loan, why not? Just keep it, because you can leverage whatever the money that you have to pay and buy more properties. So I would focus on leveraging instead of paying. But if it's stopping, pay it off. I own stocks in 4 different companies. Would you recommend selling them so I can buy more rental incomes? Metalhead, that's really a solid personal portfolio question. Honestly, it's hard to say, because both have its own upsides, both have its own downsides. So again, it's your personal opinion on how to do it. But again, if I were you, here's how I look at it. I do have some stocks, but I'm not gonna pull them out, because I know that I'm not gonna make much money now, but I know that those stocks will go up in next 2 years or 3 years, because of the company it's super solid. But at the same time, if I don't have any real estate, real estate is a great way to leverage that money. Like, what if you have like 40,000, and if you can make 50% returns on 40,000, you can make another additional 20,000. But if you buy a single family home with that 40,000, which is 200,000, now if the property goes up in value, probably let's say 20%, that means your property now appreciated 20%. That means 200 to 240,000. So now your 40,000 turned into another 40,000. So you got 100% returns. So I'm being very conservative. 20% in Windsor happened in just last 1 year. So again, is that guaranteed? No. Is the stocks guaranteed? No. Personally, I would say, like, depending on how high, how much risk you're willing to take and which one you really like more. Personally, I have higher investments in real estate, very, very minor, solid company stocks that I bought actually when the really COVID dip, like heavy dip happened. I bought like 30,000 stocks, and I'm just sitting on them because I know if I pull now, I would not make any money. But at the same time, I know I can make some returns on that, and I don't qualify for a mortgage for a little bit longer because I'm still self-employed, less than 2 years. So really personal question. Perveen Gill, does eXp Realty assist with license registration for new agents? Perveen, so yes, reach out to me, DM me if you're looking to join eXp. Obviously, I can be a mentor for you, to help you to get your license. So DM me on Facebook or Instagram. It's my full name. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. What mortgage rates and amortization period is typically given here in Windsor? So pretty much it's not just here in Windsor, Addy. It's all over Ontario. The best source I personally use is ratehub.ca. They have all different sorts of rates. You can find them online pretty easily. They are starting from, again, different rates, starting from 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. Rental properties always will be a little higher, because the best rates that you see on the website, those are generally for for primary home owners, because that's the one have insurance on them, so they get better rates. But again, check on ratehub.ca. I can put that in the description. Hub.ca, best source. There you go. It's on the sorry, I think I put the wrong link. It's no E at the end. ratehub.ca. This is correct. Okay, Matt, with new bridge, new hospital, new train going from Windsor to Toronto in 1.5 hours, won't Windsor start to be a smaller vision of GTA in maybe 10 to 15 years and get really expensive? Any advice? Matt, really a great question. I really love that. That's what I see a vision for Windsor. That's what I feel, because still you can invest a cash flow property in Windsor. I personally would. That's why I'm buying. That's why I'm still buying properties. I feel there is a huge potential for Windsor. On top of what you said, there is also Detroit. Detroit IT is also slowly growing. The Quicken Loans is increasing his employees for IT franchise, and also like Amazon have a branch now here, and a lot of small IT companies are coming. Big IT companies are coming in. There is a huge growth happening in Detroit too. So that's also a value for Windsor, because now citizens in Canada can get a TN visa and go work in US. So that's another thing too. And also grow ups, the cannabis in Leamington, like a little bit, it's not too far from Windsor. So employees there. So that industry is also growing. So there are so many things happening in Windsor. I'm actually very optimistic. Again, no one can 100% predict the future. I'm not a financial advisor to tell what to do, but that's my personal opinion. Yes, I feel the same. Hey Ruben, hi Aditya, how is the Windsor market? Is it less listings, less off-market deals right now? Yes, that's right. But again, that's one thing I would say, like any investors, there are still deals. You can still find deals. Like I'm still finding many properties for my clients. Like I just got a 10 unit building for my client. We got it for 1.1 million on the riverside. It's a freaking gold. So the deals are still there. And then there are like, we got a couple of single families for our clients, like for 200, 220, different things. So there are multiple opportunities available there. So do your numbers, find the properties. Yes, there are less listings, there are less properties available, but it's not exhausted yet. Okay, so looks like I would say keep an eye on both MLS and wholesale, because trust me, I got 8 property. I have 7 properties. Out of 7, only 1 is off market. Rest everything is on the market. So it really depends on. You gotta look. Keep an eye everywhere. Ishan, ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button. It helps the channel. Thank you, Sean. Ishan, thank you so much. Guys, if you see value in this video, smash that likes button, thumbs up. And also, like, I really appreciate if you can subscribe and share. Those are the things. I feel like you know how to show the gratitude for the host who is providing so much value. That's why I'm not asking. But thank you, Ishan. How easy is it to convert a single family home in Windsor? Would that be cost? Personally, I haven't converted a single family into duplex, but you guys know I bought a host, my good friend Savio, who is an expert in duplex conversions. So initially when he started, he said it took him 6 months and he spent like close to 100,000 to convert a single family into a duplex. But again, in a great location. Now, actually, 2 of my clients working with him to do the conversion process, and now he's hosting actually a course. You might be able to find that course link in another video. I'll try to find and put it in the description. But check out those details. So from him, I feel like yes, it's not that hard. It's just the process you need to learn. But personally, I haven't done that yet. What does when doing the BRRRR strategy, how do you get ripped off by contractor when renovating the house? Great question, Addy. Great question. I love that. Oh man. So it's not about they really wanted to rip you off, but it's about, especially when you're a newbie, you don't know what to ask them, what to look for, especially how to screen a correct contract, because more than half of the contractors, they are not savvy. So they are not like, a professional. So then that means they're gonna do they don't have a proper schedule, they don't do work on time, they don't have the people to do the work. So that means they are stressed out. That means now they start to skip doing things. That means it's going to impact on you. So instead, I would do the first step correctly, which is hiring the right contractor. So that's really important. How can you hire a right contractor? Ask the referrals. Anywhere you're in any city that you're looking to invest, first go ask for referrals in your personal network and ask them how many projects they did with them. And also ask the contractor to give referrals any projects that he have done with other people. So make sure go check out his projects and maybe talk to the people whom they used. So make sure you do that due diligence so that now you will find the right contractor and you will avoid a major rip-offs. But of course, always the always the miscommunications happen with the contractors. How to avoid? So here is what I started to do. Have a clear list of things, exactly very detailed, like literally what floor need to go, what paint need to go, how many nails need to be done. Like literally, I'm being a little bit more exaggerated, but very detailed list of things to do, and give him that list and get his sign. And when he is doing maybe once in a week, go screen them or do a video tour if you're not in the city. So do that process so you can avoid. So you just need to be careful from the beginning. You need to prepare processes for yourself to avoid rip-offs. Guys, there is 13 watching, so we should have 13 thumbs ups. Matt, thank you, buddy. You can do multiple thumbs ups. Anyone still did not hit that thumbs up? If you don't feel that you're getting value, then now I have to shut off this phone. Okay, Matt, mortgage deferrals is over. Either monthly payment is going up as banks are adding property taxes, missed for 6 months, or adding interest, missed for 6 months. So isn't our mortgage going to go up? Ah, man, that's a really tough one to answer. I don't know what to say on that point. Again, if you have used deferrals, obviously they already told that they're gonna add that whatever the payments that you are not paying for that period, it's gonna add to your principal. That means obviously your monthly payments are gonna go up. But does the interest rates go up? I don't know. It's really hard to say. So initially, last 2 years ago, they started to go up a little bit, and all of a sudden people thought that they're gonna go, high, and then they dropped again. I don't think, based on the economy situation, I don't think they're gonna increase the interest rates that drastically at this point. Again, that's why you need to buy the right properties, right? So the properties that can make cash flow with additional, even 5% or 10% vacancy rate. So just make sure you buy the right properties. What is the top 5 reasons Windsor market is going up? I can guess. GTA investors, yes, absolutely. Right now, the demand and supply is the first one. People relocating, that's 100%. Second, cheaper place to buy, yes. Those 3 are great points. Third, fourth, obviously, like someone mentioned earlier, the bridge construction project that is bringing in a lot of employees. And fifth, actually this is before COVID. Just because of the COVID, students has stopped, but the international student population has grown significantly in last 3 years. That are actually added a lot, because when the student population grows, that means smaller businesses grow. So that means people have making more money. That means people, more people to spend money, more people to make money. That means economy is growing in that city. So that's another thing. And cannabis was another thing. What else? Detroit, that's another thing. Detroit is also coming up. Detroit was dead till 2017. Now it's slowly picking up. There is like at least 5,000 to 6,000. I read some article a year ago somewhere on Windsor Star saying that there are like 6,000 to 7,000 vehicles every day commute from Windsor to Detroit. So that's another growth. Does conventional mortgage 20% need to go through mortgage stress test? Good question. So generally stress test means basically, they're trying to reduce your amount of the qualification. So for example, in a before stress test scenario, if you would have qualified for 300,000, because they added some additional tweaks to it, now your qualification went from 300 to maybe 280 or 270 or 240. So it doesn't matter whether you're paying 5% down or 20% down. At the end, it's about the amount of mortgage that you can borrow. So that's the amount is reduced. So but it doesn't matter for 20% or 5%, as far as I know. But again, it's always good to check with the mortgage person once. It doesn't hit my head 100% confidently, but I feel that's it should not make difference. Thoughts on Sandwich Town? Have a property in Sandwich, one on Russell by River, trying to decide if I should renovate, but not sure if I get higher value in location. Rob, it's my favorite location, buddy. I have 3 properties in that area, and one of my property, favorite one, literally went up 200,000 in value. 200,000 in I got for 107,000. I was just telling. It's in Sandwich on Peter and South. Literally, I feel this area will be improving. And right now, my 6-unit building, if anyone have watched my other videos, I have a 6-unit building that I got actually commercial plus residential. I'm converting into residential. It's also on Sandwich and Peter. So, sorry, Sandwich and somewhere on Russell or South, right there. So it's that area. I feel it's gonna grow because it's actually perfect location. At least I personally feel, because there is currently existing bridge and a new bridge coming up. The Sandwich Town is right in between them. So that means the traffic in this area will be more. That means people who actually want quicker access to US, once this bridge construction completes, that means it's gonna, grow. So it would be one of the major streets. So that means the city will put some pump in money to improve it. And currently they're actually giving a lot of grants to improve in that area. So they're doing certain programs to improve the Sandwich area. And if you have noticed, actually there is on Sandwich and Mill so much growth, like so much developments happening in that area, like new constructions happening, even existing commercial plazas have been renovated. So personally, if I were you, I would do the renovations to refi the property to get money out of it. And it's a good location. It's just you need to vet the tenants properly to get the quality tenants. What are your thoughts on deferrals? I have not used it, but it will affect the buying costs. So deferrals, actually, I took advantage of them. I made another video saying a detailed way of why I recommend doing the deferrals, because you could save some extra cash. But if it is impacting on your qualification, then don't do it. But there are a lot of benefits for doing it, because now you can save some extra cash, contingency fund, especially if your property is making cash flow, even after deferrals, like after with the new payments, still if your property cash flows, it makes sense, because now instead of paying like 3,000, 4,000 for the property for 6 months, I'm saving that up. Now I can buy another property to leverage more. But again, you obviously now your interest is going up, so you need to be careful. But if the numbers make sense, personally, I would recommend. I did deferrals because now I can buy another property with that saved money, and I can use for any unexpected things with that saved money. How can you help starting investors like me? Email me. Me and my team, we are investor-focused realtors in Windsor. And on top of that, we are investors, man. I own a bunch of properties, all these strategies and everything. So when you're working with me and my team, obviously you guys get the mentorship that, all this big, heavy mentorship programs that many people buy for 30, 40,000, you're freaking getting for free for $0 by working with a investor, come realtors like us. So that's a great way to leverage not just the money, also knowledge. Maybe a stupid question, but do you allow your tenants to have pets? Addy, not a stupid question, great question. I mean, it really depends on, if it's in a little bit rough area, I might allow, because finding a good tenants, it's hard. If the tenants are good, if they have good profile, but they have a small pet, I might allow. I did actually in one of my unit, they have pet. Is it a good idea? Not really, but unfortunately, a lot of people have pets, and some of the good tenants have pets, and they cannot live with that pets. So now you're losing the quality tenant. So again, you got to weigh which is more beneficial for you, and act accordingly. Would you recommend waiting until US elections? Are you a first-time investor? Are you savvy investor? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear that first. The reason I'm asking, because if you're a first-time investor, if you haven't even invested anything, you have money sitting on the sidelines, go find a cash flowing property. Go find it. No matter, literally now, even if the market 100% for sure gonna go down in next 1 month, I would still try to find a property and buy it as soon as possible. Here is the reason. If you're not in the market, no matter if the market goes down or up, it doesn't matter for you. You're not making any difference. But if you're in the market like me or any other investors, now you own some properties in Windsor or in Canada, anywhere, you have a property that is making cash flow. Now the market dips. Now you're in the market. Now you have some team, you have some connections. Now, if you don't have money, go raise the money, because the market dipped by 20 or 30%. So that means this is a perfect time to buy more. But I would not wait until having that dip happen, because we don't know if it's going to happen or not. But if you're not in the game, you would not be able to take the advantage of the market dip. So that's why I'm buying. I'm personally buying. Again, always be smart with your investments. Always find the properties that makes cash flow. That's why the cash flow is really important. That's why cities like Windsor are really important. You have to find the properties that are making cash flow, or else if the market goes down, now you cannot pay your tax, your property tax or your mortgage. Now you go bankrupt. But if you have some savings, you have the tenants paying. Now, exactly. Don't wait to buy and wait. 100%. Love that statement, Rob. And again, that's 100% true. I heard by many savvy investors, not the one who doesn't have any properties. They always tell wait. But people who actually investing from years and years, ask anyone, 90% out of 100 people will tell you, especially if it's your first few properties, buy it right, of course, and sit on them. And if the market goes down, buy more, because that's a strategy applies for stocks or real estate. When buying a first home, must you live in it specific amount of time? Good question, Addy. So I'll be political here. If your intentions is to move into the property, that's when you will qualify for the 5% down, the low, high secured mortgages, like the CMHC secured mortgage. You will qualify only if your intention is to move into it. If you can prove that your intention is to move into it, then buy it. But once you buy it, no one gonna care, because your intentions might change. For example, like I got my first property. Now we moved into the house. My wife said, I hate this neighborhood. Now I move. So is my intentions initially was good? Yes. And CMHC verified it and they gave me the loan. Once the loan is done, you move in or not, no one really gonna care. Adi, I think you bought your positivity to Windsor because you moved to Windsor. That is around when Windsor market started to go up. Great positivity. Keep it up. Thank you, Matt. I mean, again, here's the thing. Yeah, maybe I might be, it might be my destiny, but I know many people who are in Windsor couldn't invest. I know many people who are in Toronto or Vancouver have been investing in smaller cities like Windsor because they're smart enough to find these cities. So honestly, don't limit yourself saying that it's not my city that I'm living in. Yes, maybe I was fortunate. I was lucky to be in Windsor, but honestly, like I didn't know. I came to Windsor in 2014. At that time, market was like literally very. The properties were like 80,000. 2014, 2015, and then I bought my first property in 2017 March, and like literally I started looking in 2016 October, and I got it after 6 months. So many times I thought, oh, I why I did wait for that long, 6 months. I should have bought my first property, or I should have got little early, because of course as a human beings we always think that. But again, nevertheless, I don't regret my decision because I was new. I didn't know what I don't know. Um, it's just I took that, at least when I know it, I took the actions. I got into the market. Now I'm buying more. So yeah, it's always good to buy. The first best time is 5 years ago. Second best time is now. Can I join your team but without being a real estate agent? I really want to learn more and more about real estate and investments and rental properties. Hey Matt, yes or no? It depends on what skills you have. I'm actually looking for someone who has the social media, videos and photographic knowledge, like who can be my social media guy. If you have some solid skills in that area, yes, I'm looking for, send your resume. I should have in the description my email or phone number. Reach out to us, DM me on Facebook. But team in specific, you have to be a real estate agent in order to join my team. But thank you though. Thank you for being interested. Yudi, welcome back, Yudi. It is great seeing you again. My question, if I'm renting myself and buy my first property for rental purpose, I still get the first time home buyer decent on the land. Yes, you still get the land transfer tax, even if you're paying 20% down, because it doesn't, I don't think there is a restriction saying it has to be your primary home. It has to be your first home in Canada. I own about 3.5 acres and I have an income house on it. My tenants won't pay. What should I do? Wow, you have 3.5 acres land and I have an income. So 3.5 acres land, reach out to me, DM me. We can talk more on that. I'm looking for land or we can do something JV. But if the tenants, let me understand your question. I have an income house on it. My tenants won't pay. What should I do? So they're not paying your rent. Then go file to the tenant board that they're not paying. You have to give L1 notice or some notice saying that they're not paying. Now, if you go through the process, sheriffs will come and kick them out if they're not paying the rent. But if you're asking about the land, what to do about it, reach out to me. We'll talk. There are so many things we can do. Can I find discounted properties in Windsor? Looking at working with you. So discounted is a very lucrative word that many people use because it's a fast moving market right now. If you can find a property that is market value is lower because the property condition might be less. So I recently got a single family house around 200,000. Again, in the same area, there are properties selling for 200,000 and there are properties exact same area, property selling for 290,000. The reason I got this property because I know I invest 20 or 30 grand into that property because everything was dated, kitchen, flooring, painting, light fixtures. It was old dated kitchen style. Like, I'm doing so many things. If you would have saw my 7th property, and that's the property I'm talking about, Again, it was not a really crazy discount in terms of has its value, but I know if I invest this 20 or 30,000 into it, my after repair value is at least like will appreciate. If I put 30,000, it will appreciate for another 50,000, because I know clearly after repair value is 390 to 300. Sorry, 290 to 300. So my purchase was 200 and another 30,000 for renovation. So I know I'm making money. So sometimes the discounted properties will put you stay away from the market for a long run. So I would say find the property that makes sense in terms of investment. It has to make cash flow. You should have a way to force appreciate the value. You should find creative ways. Deals can be made. It doesn't have to be happen. But if you have great door knocking skills or negotiation skills, of course find great deals. But when there is a crazy sellers market, really hard to find a property that is like really like 70% to the less the market value, or 30%, whatever the gurus will teach you. That's not that easy unless you have a solid marketing strategy. And if you have it, awesome, good for you, go do it. But most of my properties, I bought it on the market, and I still was able to pull all my money out in most of the properties, except one property that I'm still working on. Other than that, I was able to successfully pull my money out. So I'm so happy with that. If I would have waited for a perfect deal, I would have waited for years. So I don't know when. So that's my thought process. Can you rent a house by bedroom without living in the house? Yes, of course. That's what a lot of people does with a student rental PF. That's definitely doable. I'm also looking at JV partners. Sure. We can talk more. DM me. Definitely. If it makes sense for both of us, if you have the right qualities, I might take a JV partner. But again, I have a very strict criteria to take a JV partner. Do you recommend getting a mortgage with a bank or a broker? I mean, of course, Addy, it's good to work with a broker, because broker you can learn more. Whereas bank, it's only one lender, one specific type of criteria that they have. Whereas if you're working with a broker, it's always you have more options, and he can strategize many things, especially if you want to invest more. You're very welcome, Metalhead. Yudi, thank you. How do you get a contractor to look at the house before you buy it, especially if you want to have a relationship with the contractor? Man, unfortunately, contractors are super busy. But if you're really serious, you have a property on contract, maybe some of them will give you time, but it's not that easy. Just, you need to find the referrals who are willing to do that. Seventh property, did you find it in MLS? 30K renovations and take some money out. I'm looking for similar property like that. Ruben, yeah, no, I didn't find on, that was not on MLS. It was off market. I know a seller who was selling, he wanted money quickly. I literally did not even inspect the property. I gave a cash offer. I didn't take any commission, realtor commission or anything. So that's how I was able to get. That's another thing. If you want good deals, sometimes you gotta take the property as is, with again, when you know there is equity, you have to be in a position to make cash offers. So that means you need to be prepared. So yeah, it's possible. Again, still a lot of my clients got like 200, 220, 230 properties that they can do some renovations and pull the money out within 6 months. How book your time on calendar looking at recommended property management companies? Of course, we have all those contacts. As I said about 1.3 acres, would I be able to have electricity company shut off the power or no? I'm not aware of electricity companies shutting off that. If the people living there, and if you're paying the utilities, or if they're not, if tenants living there but they're not paying the electricity, then they obviously hydro company will shut it off, because electricity company will shut off because they're not paying the rents if it's on their name. If it's on your name, you're not paying it, obviously they would shut off, because at the end they want their money. If they don't get their money, obviously they will. Butler mortgage is a great for investors. Thank you for recommendation, PF. What expenses can you write off in rental properties beside condo fee, utility bills, mortgage interest paid, property tax, insurance, etc.? So you already mentioned all the major things, Matt. I can think of, even like if you're inspecting the property, inspection is also your expense you can write off. So in simple, again, I'm not an accountant to give you a detailed things, but I would say like very simple words. Any expense that you're spending towards your property that is not contributing towards the value of the property, those can be write off. That the any work that you're doing towards the property, if that is improving the value of the property, then that will be added to your capital gains in future. So when you're selling the property, now whatever the purchase price and the property amount of money that you put into that property, they deduct that from the money you got after you sold. So then they calculate the capital gain. So that means it is going towards your purchase price. So the tax write-offs are the one that actually like expenses for your property on a day-to-day activity basis, that is not really adding anything to your value. Like lawn care, like if there is any pipe plumbing break, you have to send the plumber and fix it. If the furnace breaks, you have to send the furnace guy to fix it. Those are all the expenses that you can write off. You can call me Avi. Oh, thank you, man. That name sounds a little bit weird, I know. Thanks for saving me, Avi. Adi, what are the challenges with contractors in Windsor? In Barrie, it was being a challenge, but as an investor, would you be interested in Barrie? I haven't thought about Barrie yet because still I can find good deals in Windsor. Still I can pull my money out. So I was not yet looking at, but again, at this point, I will be putting my head down until the Windsor market exaggerate. But again, if the deal really makes sense, I might look into it. But contractors, when it comes to challenges, of course, everywhere the contractors are contractors. Finding the right contractors can save you a lot of hustle. So because now I'm full time, now I'm doing this. So I always make clear for my contractors, hey, here's the thing. I'm giving you, even like I give them, if they do a good job, I'll give them so much referrals. I don't take any cash back or anything for referrals. I just say that take care of my clients and myself. So now, at least the good one, they understand the value of my value, because as an investor focused, one of the best realtor in Windsor, obviously they're going to lose so much business. At least the one who understands that value, now they're going to do a good job. So at least initially I had so much challenges. Now I don't have that much challenges because I'm surrounding myself with the right people. But again, yes, you will have, but you always have, if you can communicate clearly with them, you can avoid a lot of challenges. Okay, so Matt, easiest A lender, B lender to get mortgage from top three. Easiest A lender, B lender to get mortgage from top three. I don't know if I quite get your question, Matt, but if you're asking which is the better lender to go with, obviously A lenders are always best if you qualify. Of course, sometimes if you have to go for B lenders, go for it if you don't qualify. Do you believe engineer mindset can make a difference in being a general contractor? I was an engineer, but I was an IT engineer, software engineer. I don't know, because every person is different. Every engineer is not made in the same way. It really depends on what personality you are, because it's not about you're an engineer or not. What type of skills you have. Do you have managing skills? Do you have a people skills? If you don't, here is what I would recommend. Read one of my favorite book, How to Win Friends, Influence People. This is the book that changed my lifestyle, especially in terms of communication with anyone. So you don't have to get emotional or anything. In a right way, you can influence the people to do your work. Read that book. That can help you. Yusuf, why you skipped my question? Sorry, buddy. I don't know where is your question. I didn't see your question. Okay, let me see. Good credit score, but no down payment. Can I get a mortgage to buy a house? I'm sorry about that. Somehow it mixed. Yes, Carnegie. Okay, if you have good credit score, but no down payment, sorry, buddy, you cannot get a mortgage. You need down payment. But again, maybe you can find a co-signer who can give you down payment, or find a find a private money, or find the vendor take backs who can lend you, who can hold the mortgage for you until you have down payment or equity in your property. So unfortunately, you need to have down payment, but it doesn't have to be yours. You can creatively find other ways. Actually, I'm making another video soon. It should come in next 4 or 5 videos on 6 creative ways to buy properties with no money or less money down. So stay tuned for that. Sorry, buddy. I didn't wantedly miss your questions. I don't mean you. Teja. Name of the. How to determine the house value? Can we base it on asset value? I can check on townhouse which is on a sale for 20K lower than the average price. Is it a good investment opportunity? Teja, it's really hard to say in that way, because again, listed price is not the sale price, because especially in Windsor, if you know, in Windsor, they want a list for 199. Even I do sometimes, because I want to get the best price for my client. Listing price is different from selling price. So but if they are selling for the price, no bidding war, nothing, clearly you know that the other properties in that area, similar type of properties, are selling for X amount, and you know that this property is selling for 20,000 less, then you got the deal. Go put it on contract, sell it for someone for another 10,000 profit, or keep it for yourself. Why only invest in Windsor? Why not Lakeshore, Kingsville, Hammersburg? Any thoughts? Great question. Again, at this point, I feel there are a lot of people living in Windsor, so that's why I'm investing in Windsor. But again, it doesn't hurt to look into. There, Kingsville, I heard a lot of good things about it. Leamington, maybe still the population is not that high. So the thing is, it's just the vacancy rates in Windsor is pretty low comparative to those other cities. But again, if the numbers make sense, why not, right? Honestly, like, I didn't really had to look into those cities, because still I was able to find in the city that I'm investing currently, where I have solid understanding of every pocket. That's why I'm focusing here. But again, it depends on your personal situation, right? Guys, it's like 9:14, so I'm gonna stay for another, like, I'm gonna take another couple of questions, and I'll take off. So I really enjoyed all these questions. Thank you so much for being so active. This is really fantastic. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button, do so. How did you determine if the property will have a positive cash flow? If I cannot find comparables for rent nearby, will a real estate agent can help finding comparables for you? So for rents, investor focused realtors can help you, because they know about the rental market. But here's the thing: to find how much rent you can get from a property, the easiest thing, go on Facebook Marketplace, go on Kijiji, see how much people asking for, and go on CMHC. They have a market rate. Obviously, CMHC rates are way lower than the actual market rents. But again, you can do all these searches on, see how much properties are listing for renting purpose on Kijiji, Marketplace, and many other spots where the people put ads for rent. So those are the places to verify. And of course, investor focused realtors like us, who knows, because we know how much 2 bedroom sell for, how much 2 bedroom rent for, how much 3 bedroom rent for, how much 1 bedroom rent for, how much bachelor studio rent for, how much 4 bedroom rent for, because pretty much either me have it or other investors whom I know have it. So network, brother, network. You have to find it to find the cash flow, because you need to know how much is the income, and you need to know how much is the expenses. So income minus expenses, all the expenses, property tax, insurance, if you're paying for water or any utilities, that utilities, lawn care, property maintenance, and any unexpected expenditures like $100 per month, just put aside for future expenditures. So after all these things, if you're making even $100, that's a good investment in my opinion. How do you learn all of this? Are you very smart? No, Avi. I'll read a lot. I am literally, I started with zero knowledge. I'm an immigrant, born and raised in India, moved to Canada in 2012 as a student. I came to Canada as a student and I worked as an IT guy till actually 2019 January. But while I was working, because of so much financial pressure and pain, I was desperately in need of external income. That's when I started learning about extra sources. That's when I found about real estate, and I was so desperate. I was reading until the day. I read a lot. I read on the blogs. I'm a member of many investor groups. I network a lot. I talk to a lot of investors. So many things goes into it: reading, networking, blogs, and also talking to people like you guys. So these are all ways I am learning. It's not about the smartness. Trust me, I'm one of the dumbest guy who is the last bench guy in the school. Didn't really did well in school. I was always average guy. But again, the more you learn, the better you get. That's what's happening. Can you make a video on how you analyze a deal and seeing the numbers make sense, similar to what BiggerPockets do? Adi, good question. Definitely, I'll do that. I'll do. I think that's something can help other people, many people too. Thanks. Is asset value is the real price of the house? Assessed value means appraiser value is a real value. Almost close to. What is real value? There is no meaning for real, because it's a market value, means what other people are willing to pay for your property. That's the value of the property. So that's technically is the asset value. So if it's real or not, if the buyer is really willing to pay that price or not, that's what matters. So it's a tricky answer, brother. What is your take on having a duplex conversion in 8 weeks maximum, as mudding taping can take 3 weeks? Rudrakash, sorry brother, I haven't done duplex conversions, but two of my clients are doing right now, and Savio did it before. Savio did for 6 months before, because it was for his first project, but he actually promised 3 to 4 months for one of my clients. So I don't know if it's possible to do in 6 weeks, but 8 weeks, because for sure your permits, it alone takes 2-3 weeks. So yeah, it's hard to say. Guys, I think that's all for today. And I really appreciate, and thank you so much for hopping on. If you can call me Rudy. Okay, Rudy. Thank you for making it short. Oh man, sometimes with these full names, it's hard to pronounce. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for hopping on. And if you still haven't hit that smash button, like button, or all those things. But if you guys think this is fantastic, leave those questions in the comments. I will try to answer next time. Namaste. Good night. Good night, guys. Have a wonderful evening.